Check out these boys, dude. I'm so stoked on these.
What are you gonna do with this tire?
Adventure.
This feels like a Race King.
I know, right?
To an extent.
I'm excited to see if these are good.
I wonder what the rubber is definitely like a harder rubber.
It's the trail casing.
Longer lasting rubber.
I'm just excited because these look cool.
They look like a Race King.
Yeah. The Terra Adventure.
This is the Race King with rubber that doesn't fall apart, which is good.
I think it's going to be good. Anyway, thanks to Conti and QEP for sending these.
Are you going to stop hating on Conti now because they helped you get this tire?
Yeah. That's all it takes. You can buy me, dude. You can buy my approval.
You're probably like the easiest person to buy it out of any person ever.
If you're helping us, then I'm down, you know?
Yeah, that is
all
true.
Positivity. Okay, wait. This is my video. This is about Marji.
I don't know why you started filming me.
Because it was awesome. Yo.
Allied BC40.
This is an interesting video. I think this is the first time we've done a race recap where the race was just like a failure. Does that make sense? I don't think we've ever really done... Well, you've had some problems.
I've had explosions.
You've had explosions?
I've had 3 explosions this year.
Yeah, this was a failure of me. And it wasn't because of equipment. Although
what race are we talking about?
We're talking about Marji, dude.
Marji Gesick.
Dude, their number plates are dope.
It looks crazy.
Yeah.
It looks like Halloween.
I love that it has my name, and then it also has like
the number you call when you quit.
Yeah, so
did you call that number?
I texted it. You just texted it, and then the nice lady was like, "Thank you." But they did a good job with this because the number chip is here, so you could just cut the rest of it off and
just tape the number chip to your frame.
Obviously, we did a big video talking about the bike setup. This is going to be a lot of complaining. I'm going to talk about how things didn't work out. My goal with this video is to kind of analyze choices that I made that didn't work out. It's going to come off like I'm just making excuses. And that's okay. I'm okay with that. You guys can make fun of me in the comments for being a quitter because I quit the race. I finished this race in 2023. I completed it. I did it in 13 hours, and going into it this year, I was completely focused on the 12-hour belt buckle. It was pretty much the only goal I had. I wasn't there to finish it. I was there to try to get the belt buckle, and this is kind of the story about what happened. Are you excited? This is like a lot going on. I think Chase is tired.
I'm very tired. I'm tired and I'm a little overwhelmed because I've got Gentry and then this guy. And it's very crowded and Gentry keeps wanting me to carry her. And she's like 45 pounds and it's just a lot right now.
Yeah, so what happened?
Well, real quick, let me do an ad, dude. So, we got to sell something, man. Before we get into this, if you guys like content like this, the best way to support us is to just buy stuff from us. Check out our website, order whatever you need. Or if you want to build like a BC40, hit us up. Big shout out to Allied. They just came to Indiana for our festival. We got to hang out with those guys all weekend. Fun. Richie and Cole, thank you. Much appreciated for coming by.
Yeah, I don't know if people know that Allied has like 10 stock colors on their website, but say like Rainbow Sparkle Kitten Surprise isn't a color on there, you could send them, hey man, can you paint up Rainbow Sparkle Kitten Surprise? And the painter will like make that for you.
Can somebody in the audience just send Cole an email over at Allied and say, I want a paint job called Rainbow Sparkle Kitten Surprise?
And just see what happens.
What he says.
I think it would be really cool.
Okay,
if you also just want like black with white letters, you can do that.
That one's the lightest one. That's actually the most performance-oriented one. This is the actual perfect bike for the race. The marketing behind it is all about how it's the hardest race in the US. It's kind of tongue-in-cheek. But like it's serious. Like I believe it. It's the hardest race in the US. I don't think there's a harder single day race out there. I think it's harder than doing a multi-day race. Like it's harder still. Like
what about like a 24-hour race?
Harder.
Dang.
I think it's harder, yeah. Unless you're doing 24 hours of Marji.
Yeah, I was going to say 24 hours of Marji Gesick.
The cutoff time is actually 26 hours, I'm pretty sure, and people do finish within that 20 to 26 hour range. Like people do finish in that.
That is crazy.
Yeah, I know.
I would be so hungry.
And that's another reason I quit, is because I didn't want to do that.
What you thinking? Do you want to move a little bit further in at all? Or is this easier for you?
thinking it's the easiest. The only thing I think this will be the easiest.
Okay.
Because I have to run the least amount right here.
You're right. You don't have to run through the field. Have you been training for the run?
No, that's like the reason I almost didn't come to this race.
I told Jesse for the half-mile run, he should have like be like in triathlon mode and do like running shoes. I've seen some people do that last 2 years ago.
I think this could be considered a triathlon if you thought about it.
Straight across over there is where I can see you on the run, and then pretty quick you pop out like right here.
The race starts with a notorious half-mile Le Mans start. And I knew going into it that this was going to be the most important part of the race. And that's the dumbest thing ever, but it is. It's the most important part of the race, and I can't run. I have a serious back injury. Whenever you get to the field, there's no rules. You can put your bike anywhere, and you run a loop in the grass, and then you have to find your bike. And so what the guys who are really good at this race, Matt Acker, who
Did he win?
No, he didn't win, but he was like third place or second place. He's won the race before. Matt Acker always puts his bike like at the end of the run, like next to the trees so he can grab it. And I was like, I'm just gonna copy him. So I did the same thing. They do the start and everybody's running. There was a point where I was winning the run, and there's a photo of me. Ed took a photo of me in first place in the run, but I don't really know how to run, and I didn't know how long it was because I kind of forgot, and I faded pretty quick. Although I came out of the run probably in like 15th or 20th-ish place, which I thought was pretty successful. Out of purely just the running part, full gas, I was full tilt, like as fast as I could go, and I was actually pretty proud of how I came out of it. Although that moment ended up being the end of my day. It just took me 7 hours to realize it.
Go, Jesse. All right, you got it.
I put my bike exactly where I found it, and I found my bike quick. The last time I did it, it took me like 5 minutes to find my bike. This time I found my bike real quick.
Can you put a kickstand on your bike and have your bike being the only bike standing upright?
Well, I mean, Chase had it standing up, so yeah, she handed it to me. This is where I made a grave mistake. I get my bike and I just go beeline towards the start line, and I was like having to get off and jump over other people's bikes.
Were you running or riding?
Both, because I tried to ride, but then there's too many bikes in the way, so I had to get off so I didn't run their bikes over. What I realized I screwed up is had I just followed the chute out, I could have gone backwards on the running course. I tried to cut it, ended up against a barrier, had to run around the barrier, and by the time I crossed the starting line with the timing chip chipped me out at 63rd place. So I was the 63rd person to get to the start line.
You know what this reminds me of? Back when I used to do triathlons, you know how like you swim and then you go into a transition area and then exit the transition area?
It's 100% that.
And then you come back in from transition on your bike and have to exit. Like Ironmans, the entrance and exit for the swim and the bike and the run are all in different places. You have to study the transition area. I think you needed to study the Le Mans start thing, man.
I thought I did. And well, see, that's the thing is like I did. If I were to do this again, I feel like I would actually be able to do it successfully. But yeah, the first year I did it 2 years ago was even worse. So this was an improvement. I looked at it. The last time I did it, I was 140th. This time I was 60th, but I should have been like 30th because my run was actually decent. It wasn't decent; it was excruciating. But I cashed in like, you know how people say you burn matches?
You burned them all?
I burned them all. I burned every match I had in the run. I was completely full lactic acid, like all of it. It's a big race. I think there's like 1,600 people signed up between both distances. There was at least 500 people doing this.
What's the other distance?
50 miles.
It's 150, right? 100 for the main and then 50 for the...
Yeah, okay. Although the distances are lies, so it's actually 110 miles.
Yeah, roughly 100,
Yeah. I was full lactic acid, my heart rate was at 200, I'm hyperventilating. Also trying to like navigate through this crowd of bikes, and all I had to do was just continue the same loop I was going and go out, but I didn't do that. You end up in heavy lap traffic. We just said like there's a lot of people. but it's well attended from the perspective of that a lot of pros go to this race. All the big name dudes are there for the most part, and the competition's pretty serious. If I had gotten out of there in 20th, that would have been an amazing start. I would have been in great shape. You're immediately in lap traffic. It's just kind of a cluster, and that's okay. Being in the cluster doesn't actually ruin your day. It just makes it harder. There's a lot of people who ended up passing me in the first 20 miles that went on to get top 10s. So, because the race is so hard, it's kind of an attrition. So at this point in time, I wasn't upset. My start was not perfect, but I wasn't freaking out. I was like, no, we're still doing good. Because all that mattered was staying on pace to get the 12 hours, and that was totally fine so far. The race continues, and I start making significant headways passing. And then we come into, it's like 6 miles into the race, this notorious section called Top of the World. And I'm feeling awesome. Like, I just passed like 10 people, and I was like, we're making great progress. I'm behind my buddy, Josh Shepard. Shout out to Josh. Josh did an amazing job. He had a sub 12-hour time, crushed it. I know he trained super hard to like do this race, so I just want to say congrats to Josh. But I know him through Instagram, and he's bought a few things from us, and whenever I saw him, I was like, oh, okay, I've kind of weeded through, and I can just focus on my ride now. We do Top of the World, and there's the bagpipe guy. It's like a big moment in the race, and it's this like 30% steep rock roll with like a couple drops in it. So I went to the left instead of going straight because it looks like a cleaner line, but going left, you end up, there's no line. The line is clean, and then it stops, and then there's just trees in the way. The only line through it is to go over the scary rock drop. But I go left, and I realize I screwed up, and then I can't get out of my pedal, and I tip over and do a full somersault into the ditch right there and into the thorn bush. This moment in the race exemplifies my entire day, if that makes sense. I fall over, and because it's such a technical section, I can't just like jump back on the trail. So I get into a spot where I can like safely re-enter the trail, but I have to let 20 people pass me before I get a moment to get back on the trail. So now I just went negative 20 places and am back in the traffic. And there's not a whole lot I can do about it. It's my fault for messing it up. Had the Le Mans start gone better, I would have been able to get back on the trail much quicker because I wouldn't have been in the traffic, if that makes sense, Trey.
Well, if all those people were right there with you, like they're going the same speed as you, so you should have been thinking about it as like, oh no, I just lost 20 seconds, not 20 places. Like, just get back on, and then you're just right back in the race. Because if those people are there, they're relatively fast.
No, they are relatively
fast. Going the
fast.
same speed as you.
Yeah, I know, but
And it's a 12-hour race, and you were like, how far in?
6 miles.
So why were you so like, shoot, I just like lost the race? Because that's like an hour into a 12-hour race. Because
the gap between me and the dudes who I normally am racing with at these things was huge at this point. There's a bunch of guys who go to the NUE races a bunch, and they're minutes up now because of this mistake I made. And I can't catch them because I have to navigate the crowd. Does that make sense?
You got to catch them over the next 10 hours.
That's exactly. But at that point, I get back in the groove and I'm riding. We hit a gravel stretch and I immediately passed all the people that passed me, and I got back in my good mindset.
We'll put these rocks here.
So I caught back up to Josh after I crashed, and we're talking, and he's telling me about like his pacing strategy. And he had marked out specific time points to hit, and I was thinking to myself like, oh, that's amazing. And I was just like, I'm just gonna ride with him the whole day. That was my plan.
Was his like times on his top two?
Yeah.
Based on like the 12
hour
mark?
Yeah, 12 hour mark. And he told me because I was a little freaking out. He was like, no, we're well within the pace. Like he was like, we have plenty of time. And it really calmed me down. Shout out to Josh for helping me calm down, because I was a little on edge, to be honest, which is part of the mistakes. I mean, like I did not have a good race. I mean, that is a mistake that I made, which is just to not be patient, you know, like that's a problem I was having. We continue on, and we had a really good group. Mike Caldley, sorry Mike, I can't pronounce your last name, was with us, and Travis Jolly was there too, like some dudes who I've become friends with over the last 2 years racing these things. And I started to feel really confident. I was like, okay, no, I'm in the right spot. I felt good about it. But I had a problem. On my heel, I was having super sharp pain. And I thought, I was like, man, there's a rock in my shoe. Like there has to be. And I couldn't just like ignore it. Like it was too painful to ignore. Like it felt like I was just being stabbed. Pulled over real quick, pulled my shoe all the way off. There's no rock in my shoe. I just have this terrible blister from the run. And I was like, well, crap. And I just put my shoe back on, and I was like, we're just gonna ride with this pain the whole day, I guess. The run was extremely painful for me. My body was so beat up from it, and the riding wasn't like stopping me, it was just pain from the run. My joints all hurt, my back hurt a ton. It was something I knew that was gonna happen coming into it. I definitely didn't deal with it super well. I get back on and keep going. I got passed a few more times, but like nothing too crazy, nothing I was too stressed about. Still well within the pace to go sub 12. End up in what I would consider to be more of a mellower part of the race. You hit a people trail, the trails get a little bit easier, and I was feeling pretty great at this point. My nutrition strategy was great.
Jesse!
I got my bottles from Chase.
Got a bottle if you need it. Yo, just one. Need gels? Good job. Okay, so we are on the side of a road where the iron ore heritage trail comes through. All the riders will be coming right through here, and I am actually parked like in the first spot closest to the trail. I was like one of the first people here, so I got Jesse's started and then did a bottle handoff that I tried to film. It was a little shaky. Hey buddy. I am around mile 30.5 to 31, and I previously saw Jesse right around mile 20, so he took one bottle of Element from me. I had no idea what place he was in. Maybe top 25? I'm not entirely sure. There is on my race result, they do have a little bit of a live update as they cross whatever timing mats. They had one for the Le Mans start. That was about a half mile run. And Jesse came in 63rd out of 439 people for that. And it had his speed listed at a 7:17 mile. Won't be another mat until Pete's Pass, which I feel like I'm basically there more or less. My map is hard to see. I am currently the blue dot. Pete's Pass is that solid straight line going right back up north. So that's somewhere along there. There's a timing mat. So I won't have much of a heads up on where Jesse is. My plan here is to have a bottle and some carbs for him. And then after that, I'm going to go to Marquette Mountain area and see if I can find a spot there.
This race is crazy. It's completely lawless. So you know how we've had a lot of drama with feed zones this year, Trey?
Yeah.
You can take a feed anywhere you want. It does not matter. Literally. Like
That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's fun. I think it's cool. Chase would just like find a spot on the course and wait for me there.
How easy is it to get to different spots of the course?
It's
Pretty
not too
easy?
hard. Yeah, because Marji is like not super remote. The trails are all like within close to towns and roads and stuff.
Yeah.
So you actually cross roads a lot. We would finish a trail, cross a road, and there'd be a group of people waiting there. And if sometimes Chase wasn't there, she was picking and choosing, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I'd see her and stop and
I would be like freaking out trying to like plan where I want someone to be
You
without
can-
like having the the aid stations.
Yeah,
It
no.
would be so weird. Try to go here type of thing.
There's one major one that is at a park that you pass through twice at the end that is like a zoo. It is like to go to that park and sit there, you have to kind of like commit to being there all day because it's like all super busy. We actually planned, me and Chase drove the course the night before. We plan to completely skip that aid and do all the aids before and after, if that makes sense.
So you skip the like chaos.
Yes, although I did not make it to that aid because I quit before it because that aid's at like mile 70.
Yeah.
But that was the plan. So you're right, Trey. Me and Chase drove the whole thing and kind of
Gotcha.
planned.
Yeah.
If you need anything, I got it right here.
Cars are stopped.
All right. The live track did update from whatever the second spot's called. Spots since the run.
What?
You've made up a minimum of 20 spots since the run.
No way.
Yeah, go.
I feel like I'm so far back. It's crazy.
He has gained about 20 spots at the time of that he crossed the whatever mat from where he ended the run. That's cool. He was pretty excited about that. I don't think he realized that he'd passed that many people. The next check-in point is at Marquette Mountain. They kind of go through that area twice, so I don't know where exactly the mat is there. So I saw Jesse right around mile 31. So he's officially had 1 bottle of Gatorade, 1 bottle of Element, and then I just gave him a second bottle of Element. He still has 1 bottle of Gatorade from the start on his bike in a second cage, but I will be seeing him in about, I guess, 10 miles. I'm driving to Marquette Mountain Resort, so we will see where I can find a spot for him to see him there.
I'm actually feeling pretty good at this point. I'm getting into the groove. My bike feels pretty good. Do you know Sid and Mackie, like the YouTube channel?
Yeah.
Okay, so
You got passed by Sid.
I got passed by Sid
kidding.
way early. So whenever
No,
I-
Sid's a girl.
Yeah.
Wait, she passed you?
yeah,
No.
Sid went sub 12.
Did she win the women's?
She got second. Mackie raced last year and got like second or third.
Yeah, he's pretty fast.
He's good, yeah. They made a bunch of content about this. The whole point was like Sid really wanted to be the first girl to get the buckle.
Wait, that's never happened?
Never happened.
That's crazy.
Never happened before. So Sid and Mackie lived in Marquette for like a month, training specifically to get Sid the belt buckle.
That's crazy.
So in the back of my mind the whole race, I was so sure that she was gonna get the belt buckle that if wherever I was relative to Sid, I was like, that's my
She's your like
yeah
rabbit to chase?
No, 100%, yeah. And so but it wasn't just Sid. There was a group of 3 women who were basically just glued together all day, and I think all 3 of them did end up getting the belt buckle. So huge congratulations.
That's awesome.
It was so cool. The reason I'm talking about this is because I ended up riding with them for a while. And that's part of the next part of the story. So there's a field section. It reminds me of whenever we were in Utah, Trey, where it's like a trail just cut in grass.
Oh, yeah.
They had passed me earlier on in some of my drama. I think they passed me when I took my shoe off. I caught them in this grass field, and at this point I was feeling really strong.
Keep it up, y'all. I'm not gonna meet you, I'm sorry. This didn't go as well as I thought it would.
And I went around them there because I knew coming up was 2 really hard climbs. One was on trail and one was gravel climb. And again, in the back of my mind, I was like, as long as I'm ahead or with them, like I'm on track. Go around them in the grass. It was super cool to see them. And then I probably put a minute into them. We get to the gravel road. This climb is big. It's like a big, steep gravel climb. I motor around 2 dudes who were ahead of me that were pretty quick. I look back and there's the 3 girls. They're catching me on this climb, and I was going fast up this climb. They went so fast up this climb, like I was impressed. I was super impressed. I bet we went about the same time up it, and then I just had a gap going into it. And we go down one of the more technical descents of the day. By the end of it, they had caught me. I was like, okay. I wasn't super concerned, even though I thought I might be able to keep making progress ahead of them. They were going really fast too. And so at that point, when they recaught me, I settled back in and was just like, I'm just gonna follow them. And I got behind them. And I rode with them for maybe 45 minutes to an hour, all the way into the ski resort aid station. This is the point where the race went really sour for me.
How far in was this?
50 miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like halfway.
Roughly half. Yeah. Right. The problem with this race is that the second half is so slow that like it's halfway mileage wise, but it's not time wise.
Yeah.
I was well on pace for 12 hours at this point. All of the girls did it, and I was right there with them, so I was on pace. You know, that's the only way I can explain it. I went into this next section, and it's an uphill, and there's a lot of like navigating rock gardens. I just had 2 or 3 of them where I just took bad line and my back was hurting so much. I ended up completely screeching to a halt here. So during this 10 miles, I dropped down to maybe like a 5 mile an hour average. It was just brutal, dude. I was definitely off pace at this time, and I knew I was off pace. I basically lost all motivation to kind of keep going. It ended up being a situation where I knew Chase was going to be parked on the road coming up. I got to the point where right after I quit, there's like a 10-mile people trail to that park I was telling you about. And I knew that I wasn't going to go under 12, but I also was staring down like maybe a 14-hour finish, which would involve about 2.5 hours of riding at night. I definitely just didn't want to do it. I mean, it's just that simple. It was good enough for me. And I think that there's a lot to learn from that. I've done a lot of races this year, so like I don't really, it's definitely a failure of a race, but it's not like a failure of a season, if that makes sense. Like I'm not that upset about it. I'm excited to race Pisgah 111 this weekend. It's gonna be fun. I do think I did well in the first half until I wasn't, but just completely brutally honest with you, like once I was off the pace, I really had nothing to ride for, and my motivation was basically 0 to keep going. I ended up getting to the road with Chase. We ended up just going to the beach.
Perfect timing, but apparently he's in pain and is done.
There's nothing to gain to.
Yeah, bro, bicycle station.
Hey!
I am hurting too much to continue.
What part hurts?
I have.
Is it your back again?
Yeah,
That's been a big problem.
A really big problem. It's all due to the run. And that's like, it's not. I'm not like. Claiming like I didn't know that was a possibility that could happen, but so I have a really terrible blister that is right here.
Okay.
That happened after the run, and then it wasn't too bad, but I definitely crashed. There's another issue that I caused myself that I kind of also rolled the dice with.
Okay.
Raising this up 10 millimeters totally alters the fit of the bike.
For me to have finished, I would have had to ruin the next 4 weeks of my life, right? I wouldn't have been able to walk. It takes a heavy toll on your body, and I just didn't really want to do it anymore. If I hadn't finished in 2023, I would have stuck it out. I'm pretty confident I could have finished the race. It was more of just that I didn't want to.
You haven't talked about your bike much.
Yeah, I was kind of saving it for this part of the video. One major change that I did was I went down to the 34 tooth chainring.
Should have gone smaller.
No, it felt slow as crap on the people trail. It really did. It was too slow for the people trail. But doing all the climbs, have you ever watched Naruto before?
No.
Dude.
I have not watched
Okay,
that.
so for all the people in the audience, putting this 34 tooth chainring on felt like the moment in Naruto where Sasuke and Rock Lee are fighting, and then he takes his weights off, and then he's like super fast because he takes all of his weights off. Yeah.
I have no idea what you're talking
The
about.
Naruto is cool, guys. But anyway, so whenever Rock Lee takes the weights off and then he's like super fast and he like starts beating up Sasuke, that is how this made me feel like climbing. I just felt like I've never climbed faster, and it's going to be really tough for me. Now going into races, I'm going to have to change my chainring based on the race. Whereas before, I just use the same one every time. So that's a new thing I have to think about that I was avoiding. Huge shout out to Sid. We didn't talk like a whole lot, but like it was cool to like ride with her for a bit there.
I need to go watch her video.
I don't know if it's out yet, but
I'm sure she's going to make one.
I'm definitely in it if she does. I don't think she knew who I was, which is cool, but they're pretty big YouTubers at this point. Did I overdo the bike setup? Yeah.
You put a pike on.
Yeah, let's talk about the pike. Oh man. Did this do what I think it would do? Yes. This is a more comfortable fork with some drawbacks. Drawbacks that don't work in endurance racing. There's one drawback that's very personal that I'll talk about, but this is a pound heavier than the Sid. It's not a big deal to make your bike a pound heavier overall, but making your bike a pound heavier strictly in the handlebar, picking your front end up, ends up actually being very impactful. The bike was noticeably harder to pop up over rocks and stuff, and that is the whole race. This race is never smooth. It's constantly navigating through rough stuff. Do I think that was the reason why I had to stop? No. It definitely was helpful. Also, it's kind of hurtful in the same time. What do you think about that?
I don't think I would have put a pike on.
Well, yeah, it was a mistake. I knew that this was... I wasn't oblivious to this. Whenever I put this on the bike, I knew that this was what I was doing. This is 10 millimeters taller than this fork, and it pitches the front end up higher. My fit was bad. It was 100% the main problem. Instead of being on my normal, completely dialed, comfortable setup, I was on a little bit different foreign bike fit setup. I knew that going into it, but it ended up being the thing that unraveled me. So all of the pain I was talking about from the run basically never settled because I was constantly like in this weird position. It wasn't that different, but it was different enough. The thing that's weird is that I think the fork performed pretty good. I think it's not that it doesn't work well on this bike. It does work really well on this bike, and it's fun, and it's so capable, but it's just different, and I shouldn't have changed it. I think that was the biggest mistake of the day, was putting that fork on. I think I would have been much better off with my normal fork setup. I think we can learn from that, right? Like, I tried it. Would I put the pike back on my bike? Yeah, for fun, for sure, but I don't think it was the right call to do it.
Maybe for like an enduro race.
I think that would be fine. It was better downhill. It did make an impact.
Yeah.
It was better, but it was better in a way that really wasn't it ended up not being relevant for the race I was doing. I would have much rather had a lighter front end in the position that I was used to. So I do think that the pike on the BC40 is sick. I think that it's a great setup. It's just, it wasn't the right setup for me in the race. Everything else I did was awesome though. So the airliners, dude, are total.
You stole
I
from
stole
me?
them. You can take them
Dude,
back.
should I show the people what happened since you stole my airliners?
Yes. Yeah.
They can see it.
How is that still holding air?
I don't know. Yeah, I broke my.
How is that still holding air, dude?
Like shattered it, but it's still holding air. I rode another like 4 miles out of the trail with a broken wheel. I hit it and it made a loud noise, and I was like, did you hear that? I think I just broke my wheel. Vittoria
airliners, I think, are a must. I actually don't even think I don't think there's any downside to it.
No, what are they, like 40 grams?
50 each.
50 each. That's like nothing.
Dude, it's so good.
To save your wheels.
So I've been running 16, 17 with them.
So you have to go down in pressure, right?
Well, you can. I have been with no problem.
Isn't there something like the airliners take up volume of the tire, so you have to lower the pressure? Or is there something along those lines?
It definitely does, yeah. Dude, they're not even that expensive. Like, I think that's a huge upgrade to a bike. I'm super stoked on them.
Especially in the rear.
Yeah, I was talking to Vittoria, my dude over there, Michael, and I asked him if I should do front and rear or just the rear. He told me that the rear mandatory, and then he was like, it's so light, I just do it in the front too, because it's like barely a
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
that
makes sense to me. And that's probably the way I would run it. I like it whenever my bike's balanced. If one doesn't have it, it feels very symmetrical right now. I think that's definitely the way to do it. I did something really funny. I did too good of a job putting my number plate on. So my number plate was like super dialed. It was like this. So, but the pike sticks out a little bit. It was basically as the fork would compress, because it slackened my bike out. It was hitting my front tire right here and doing that.
Dang.
I'd be going down a rock drop and then it would go, and then I would freak out because I thought something broke. Like, look at the bottom of my number. It broke the bottom of my number plate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, I didn't see that.
Oh.
There, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't move it because I was in the middle of a race, so I just kind of like lived with it. Sorry if you were with me and that scared you, because it scared the crap out of me too.
It was like when people used to put baseball cards in their spokes to make the engine noise.
Only it was really loud, and whenever I was doing a drop, and so every time I do a drop, it would go like.
It probably sounded like you were just like crashing.
It sounded like I was crashing, and so yeah, I apologize. That was my bad. The tires were so dialed, and actually, I'm going to continue to use this setup because it's kind of been really good in the fall here. The Barzo, we had these in stock like all year, and no one bought them, and then suddenly in the last month, we like can't keep them in stock. Do you think FlexFit by John had something to do with that? Because I do.
He keeps testing all these tires, and every single new tire he tests, it just says it's the fastest one. That's what it seems to be happening.
These ones, I don't think he said are the fastest ones.
He did on one of his charts.
Interesting.
Or not the fastest, but like
way faster than it should be.
Yeah.
I haven't tested these either. I do think they are way faster than they should be. I'm pretty stoked on these.
It makes sense that they're fast.
Yeah.
Because the casing is the same as like the Mezcal and the Peyote. And the knobs aren't like huge.
I'm actually going to do something interesting here, Trey. I'm going to do Barzo Peyote.
Yeah, sure.
I think that's actually the new meta. That might be the new meta for mountain biking.
Okay.
I'm going to do that at Pisgone 11. Although the Mezcal is a really good rear tire.
I would run the Mezcal if it was wet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I feel like the Peyote in the rear probably wouldn't have much braking traction in the wet.
You're 100% right. Personally, my take on this situation is buy 2 Peyotes, 1 Mezcal, and 1 Barzo. Because then you can do every combo.
Yeah.
It's the best tire setup for a full year of racing. You cover the entire spectrum. I think it's like a no loss situation. And then your tires also don't wear out as fast because you're like rotating them. Yeah. So that's my 2 cents on this. Sick products from Vittoria. I've really, really enjoyed using these tires this year. That was it.
Sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys can make fun of me in the comments for quitting, but I do think it's helpful to kind of diagnose like things that went wrong that might be able to be fixed in the future. Because I definitely want to go back to Marji. The cool thing about Marji, it's such a beautiful area. It's fun race. I don't know if I'll be back next year, but I'll definitely be back in the future. Try it again. Oh yeah, the last thing. I appreciate everybody in the comments who told me to go back to the carbon spoke wheels because that was the right call. So yeah, that was Marji. Got a few more events coming up. Like I said before, if you like this kind of content, definitely buy some stuff. And you guys can make fun of me in the comments. I'm not going to be mad at you for it. So we'll see you on the next one.
You're going to get roasted in the comments.
I think, bro. I quit the race. It's okay. You guys can roast me for it.
Bye.